And you talked a lot about development. So what have been the key things? Well, I guess in a reverse. So for young professionals, what should they look for in a manager to make sure that they are getting a leader versus a manager in terms of knowing that they're going to develop them?
That's a really good question. The way that I see, for example, somebody going into the workforce that doesn't necessarily feel like they're being led. Again, in my perspective, it really boils down to how that individual then fosters that relationships. And a relationship is between two people and not just one. So when you feel like you're not being developed, sit down, be inquisitive, like I said earlier, and ask yourself why we do things. And you're going to see curiosity develop from that individual, from that manager, that will help you in your long term really establish why we do things. And then as a young leader, you're learning from the good ones, and you're also learning from those bad mentors or managers that you've had along the way. And sometimes, I've had some terrible managers along the way, and sometimes what I take away from them is that I just simply don't want to be anything like those individuals.
How did you prove that you were able to take on those tasks when you were trained for something else? Was there any doubt that the employers had, or like how did you position
There,
yourself? 'Cause I think that's also
there,
interesting.
there was doubt. It's a great question because, I having graduated from management technical operations, having a safety background, I got into the field business planning world because of the experience that I had operationally. And American at that time was looking for somebody who had worked in the Caribbean, who understood the industry, but wanting to say, we'll teach you the finance things as long as you have this operational background that we're looking for. So it was just like, I don't know, match made in heaven, if you want to describe it. I never in a million years started work in finance, and 8 or 9 years out of my career have been in financial roles, including the director of administration and planning for American for some time. Um, and it was fascinating because what I learned in field business planning about the industry, I would not have learned in the operation in 20, 30 years. Because you really learn to execute from a financial perspective while at the same time delivering the product that our customers are looking for.
Notice your own negotiating skills as a person, like as you built them, as you grew within that field, right? Like you were negotiating contracts, and again, it's a different type of customer since your customer is the contract you're negotiating with. But how did you learn about the skill of negotiation?
It is a question that I don't often get asked, Brett, but it's a fabulous question what you're asking. And it really boils down to, well, the negotiating factors are crucial, and you're ensuring that the company that you're bringing on board has this qualifications, certifications, all that, has the room for growth, because given our size and scope, we can't hire a company who just recently opened and says, hey, look, I got this this outsourced business that we want to bring into American Airlines. That we hire for scope and for growth opportunities. But once I hire them, because I've been on both sides of this equation, I've done the contracts, and now I'm also leading these contracts that before I did contracts for. And the way that I can describe it is you need to ensure that those companies are treated as if it was an integral part of your current company. For example, service provider X is a crucial part of the success of American, and therefore we're going to treat them as if they were American employees, American leadership. That's our success, because our success is their success and their success is our success. That's how I describe it.